In today's tutorial, I'm going to be turning this longer alternative look into an Italian-inspired mid-length razor cut with a loose, wet finish. Like all of our haircutting processes, I began by planning. This is the cornerstone of any fantastic haircut, as it gives me clarity, direction, and vision to create the desired outcome. As the entire cut is going to be cut with only the razor, I started by shampooing the hair to maintain maximum moisture throughout the process. Prior to getting stuck in, I used a styling comb to groom and smoothen the hair and remove any knots. In the spirit of our philosophy of reverse engineering, I sectioned the hair into 3 main zones: the top, the crown, and the sides. Essentially, this also divides what's going to be happening above and below the rounding of the head. I started by mapping out a square panel through the top. To easily create this panel, I sectioned the middle parting to separate side from side. Then, using the crown as a reference, I created a separation point from back to front. Using the recession point and the rounding of the head as a reference, I created the top zone by connecting it to the section line that I created through the crown area. Once balanced on both sides, I secured the top out of the way with a clip. Next, I established where the occipital bone protruded. This would be the end point for my next zone, which would be a triangular section through the crown, using the corners of the box section as a reference. Even though this haircut will have a loose, disheveled finish, I still wanted to instill a balanced and strong shape. Therefore, I started the process by matching up both sides with a guide through the temple area. I did this by creating a line with my razor and checking both sides for balance. I then started the process of creating graduation. I did so by using the length at the bottom of the line as a guide. Taking diagonal back sections, I pulled the hair out directly towards the center of my chest, and I used my razor to create the cutting line which mimicked and ran parallel to the sectioning line. With each new section, I ensured to move my body, create a round horizontal shape, and I was very easily able to find my guide, which is also essential here. As you can see, through the nape I decided to keep the hair longer in order to accentuate the neckline. I took generous sections throughout this process, about the width of my comb. This kept the process efficient and effective. A clip was also used to secure the hair that I wasn't cutting, which also helped me with organisation.
Yeah.
Once the hair crossed over at the middle back, I began the exact same process on the opposite side of the head. When the sides were complete, I used a razor to visually remove any excess hair from the neckline. The next zone I tackled was throughout the crown. Utilising overdirection and the graduation from the zone below as my guide, I continued to use diagonal sections to extend the shape throughout the crown. This is done to add dimension and to combat the head shape changing. process I used to cut the top was structured by using vertical sections and using a numeric sectioning system that helped me in creating a square shape horizontally. I cut the entire top from the left-hand side to control the vertical shape through my vision. The numeric system of my sections enabled me to create the squareness horizontally. Dependent what side I was working through, I was either pushing or pulling each new section into the previous. Cutting the top with a razor requires quite an unusual technique that requires tension to be created with your thumb. This is quite easy to do with the correct razor. Just make sure it's a nice and sharp one and it's not a straight razor, as that may result in a fingerless outcome. Creating a square shape horizontally leaves a slight disconnection and overhang between the two zones, depending on the choice of length. And I pulled out some feature pieces through the front to really give it a loose, natural feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Using the diffuser, I then semi-dried the hair before removing the clips and letting the natural air do its work.
Yeah.
I got a little creative in the end and used some styling paste to enhance some certain feature pieces of the haircut. There you have it. This is an easy haircut to replicate on the shop floor for anyone who's looking to reshape their long hair to a mid-length look without it looking or feeling too mechanical. Hope you enjoyed it.